This is your Morning Boost, recorded in the Forward Ed Network studios. A weekly spark for educators and school leaders ready to lead, teach, and live with greater intention. This is your Morning Boost.
Good morning, Morning Boosters. Hey, have you ever stopped and wondered why people do certain things in your building and you just can't quite figure out why they do them? Maybe teachers always wait until the last minute to get something done, or maybe every decision seems to come back to you. Maybe staff roll their eyes when another meeting invite hits their calendar. Our first instinct is usually to blame people. We tell ourselves they need to communicate better, or they need to take more initiative, or be more organized. But lately, I've been wondering if we're asking the wrong question. Maybe the better question isn't, why are people doing this? Maybe instead it's, what is the system teaching them? That thought has been bouncing around in my head ever since last week's episode. We talked about the master schedule and how it's really more than a schedule. It's a reflection of what we value as a school or a district. After I finished recording that episode, I kept coming back to the same idea. Maybe it's not just our schedules that communicate our values. Maybe every procedure does. I think sometimes we underestimate just how much our procedures shape the culture of our buildings. When we think about culture, we usually think about mission statements, relationships, trust, all of those really important things. But if we're honest, that's not what people experience every day. They experience our procedures. They experience how they request supplies. They experience whether meetings start on time or how we respond when something goes wrong. They experience what happens when they bring a new idea to us. And those everyday moments quietly teach people what it's really like to work in our schools. Take collaboration, for example. I don't know many schools that would say collaboration isn't important. It's in our strategic plans, it's on our websites, and we talk about it every single August. But then we fill every PLC agenda from top to bottom. Every minute is planned out. Every conversation has to end with another document or spreadsheet or a note catcher. So let me ask you, are we really encouraging collaboration? Or are we encouraging compliance?
This segment is sponsored by Grunmeyer Leader Services. Since 2013, GLS has been a trusted partner for school districts across the Midwest, specializing in executive recruitment and leadership support. They believe that great schools start with great leaders, and they are here to help you find the perfect fit for your district. Transform your school's future with the right leader. Visit GrunmeyerLeaderSearch.com to learn more. Grunmeyer Leader Services, transforming education one leader at a time.
Here's another example. We tell our principals and teacher leaders that we want them to make decisions. We want them to lead. We want them to solve problems. But then every exception has to come through us at the district office. Every decision needs one more approval. Every little change requires another email. And eventually, people stop making decisions. Not because they can't, but because we've unintentionally taught them that waiting is safer. It's not really a people problem, that's a systems problem. The same thing happens with meetings. We've all been in those meetings where about 20 minutes in, somebody could have said, this probably could have been an email. Now, every once in a while, that's just part of the job. But if this becomes the norm, what are we teaching? We are teaching people that their time really isn't all that valuable. Now, we would never say those words, but sometimes our procedures say them for us. One thing I've really been trying to work on myself is changing the question I ask when something frustrates me. Instead of asking, why are people doing this? I've started asking, what system made this the easiest thing to do? That changes the conversation. If teachers always wait until the deadline, maybe the issue isn't motivation. Maybe the process unintentionally rewards waiting. If the same questions keep showing up in my inbox, maybe people don't know where to find the answer. If communication feels inconsistent, maybe we've created too many ways to communicate and nobody knows which one actually matters. It's easy to look at all of these as isolated frustrations, and sometimes they're all pointing back to the same system. Now, I want to be careful. I'm not saying every problem is caused by a procedure. Schools are complicated, people are complicated, and let's be honest, leadership is really messy. Sometimes we have to have hard conversations. Sometimes we have to address performance. But I do wonder how many frustrations we create because we've never stopped to question the systems we've inherited. Think about your own district. How many procedures exist simply because they've always existed? Somebody created them years ago. The people who designed them, they probably aren't even at the district anymore. But here we are still doing it. And we do it because that's just how we've always done it. I don't know about you, but whenever I hear myself say that now, it makes me stop. Maybe it's time to ask why. One thing I've learned over the years is that sometimes the best leadership decision isn't adding something, it's removing something. One unnecessary approval, one unnecessary form or meeting or step. Those little things matter. They tell our staff that we respect their time, and they give people more opportunities to spend their energy where it belongs, serving students. So here's something to think about this week. Pick one procedure, just one. Maybe it's your field trips, or maybe it's substitute requests, purchasing supplies, student referrals, whatever it is. Ask yourself this question: what is this procedure actually teaching our people? Not what we intended, not what we hope. What is it actually teaching? You might be surprised by the answer. Maybe changing the culture in our buildings isn't always about launching another initiative. Maybe sometimes it is as simple as questioning one procedure that we've stopped thinking about. Because here's the reality: every procedure we've created was designed to solve a problem at some point. Most of them were built with very good intentions, but schools change, people change. The challenges that we face change. And every once in a while, we owe it to ourselves and to our staff to ask whether the systems we've inherited are still helping us accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. As leaders, we spend a lot of time asking people to adapt. Maybe this week we should be willing to ask whether our systems need to adapt too. As you head back in your building this week, or maybe you're still sitting at your office surrounded by schedules and budgets and planning documents and all of that good stuff, I hope you take a fresh look at one procedure that you've probably walked past 100 times without even giving it a second thought. You may find that a small change to a system has a much bigger impact than another new initiative ever could. I know that's something I will be thinking about this week. Have a great week, boosters. We'll talk with you again next time.
That's your morning boost from AWB Education and Media. If this episode helped you reset your thinking or take your next step forward, share it with a colleague. And don't forget to subscribe so your next boost is ready when you need it. Keep showing up with intention. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you next time.